I'm Georgia, and in this video I'm going to be talking about the science which points towards the law of assumption being true and basically offers some explanation as to how the law of assumption works. I'm doing a master's in consciousness, spirituality and transpersonal psychology, and through studying consciousness I have looked into some quantum physics experiments, and these happen to link to manifesting as well. So through that knowledge I'm going to do my best to explain how quantum physics supports manifestation and the law of assumption in particular, and offers some insight into how the law of assumption works in practical terms. So what is the law of assumption? The law of assumption is basically when you assume whatever you desire to be true. You convince yourself and assume that it has already happened, that you already have that reality. And by doing that, by making it feel real and assumed to be true in your mind, that is when you draw that reality to you. So when it comes to attracting our desired reality to us, something that is very crucial is the electromagnetic signal that we are putting out. So our thoughts and our feelings create this electromagnetic signal. The thoughts are the electrical part of the signal and the feelings are the magnetic part of the signal. And according to Dr. Joe Dispenza, it is our electromagnetic signal, which he calls our state of being, which draws our reality to us. So how does this happen? Where is this reality coming from that we are attracting to us? Where it comes from is the quantum field. So the quantum field is a field of energy. It is all around us. It surrounds everything, everyone. It surrounds the entire universe, and we also exist within the quantum field. We are the quantum field, essentially. So in this field of energy, infinite potentialities exist, and this is because the quantum field is basically the basis of all physical reality. So in school, we are usually taught that the smallest part of matter is an atom, right? That is what they thought for a long period of time. So they discovered the atom, then they discovered that the atom was made up of electrons and protons and neutrons in the nucleus. Then they discovered that there was something even more smaller than that. There are quarks, which make up the protons and neutrons, I believe. But basically, we always thought that these physical particles are what makes up reality, and we didn't know if there was anything even more fundamental than that. But it turns out there is something more fundamental than that. There is the quantum field, which is this field of energy, and this is where these physical particles emerge from. So if you take an electron, for example, an electron is just a very tiny particle of matter. The electron is actually energy in the quantum field that is collapsed into this physical particle, and this is called collapse of the wave function. The wave of energy in the quantum field collapses and creates the electron. And what is very crucial to understand about this is that the electron is a discrete thing. It is one singular physical thing. But when the electron exists in wave form, the wave represents every single potential that that electron can be. There are infinite potentials that exist within that wave function. And what causes the wave to collapse into a physical particle was found through a number of quantum physics experiments. And basically it links to consciousness. When you measure the electron, then it collapses from a wave into a physical electron. So measuring the particle, observation, consciousness causes the wave function to collapse into a physical particle. So it doesn't actually work like we were taught in chemistry, where they said that it was the nucleus, which was the middle of the cell, and the electron spins around the nucleus. It's actually more that when you measure where the electron is, then it occupies a discrete position somewhere around the nucleus. So these subatomic particles are emerging from the quantum field. So physical reality, which is made from all these little building blocks, all these subatomic particles, physical reality is emerging from the quantum field. And as I've just alluded to, consciousness has something to do with these waves of energy collapsing into physical particles, with waves of energy with infinite potentials in the quantum field collapsing into physical reality. And again, this is from a number of quantum physics experiments that have found that what is 100% true is that consciousness is somehow involved in the waves collapsing into physical particles. We know that you cannot understand physical reality without including consciousness. What the question is, what the mystery is that still remains, it's not whether consciousness is involved. The mystery is the nature of that relationship. So there are differing interpretations on how consciousness is involved, but one of those interpretations is that consciousness itself causes the waves to collapse into physical particles. Basically, that consciousness is fundamental in causing physical reality to emerge from the quantum field. So this theory is called subjective reduction, and you may have noticed that it sounds very similar to manifesting and to the law of assumption. Our consciousness, our beliefs are drawing physical reality to us. So this brings us back to our electromagnetic signal and the law of assumption. So according to Joe Dispenza, it is our electromagnetic signal which causes these waves to collapse into physical particles and to create our own personal reality. The electrical signal, which is our thoughts, they basically give the quantum field the information. They tell the quantum field what it is we want. And then the feelings, the magnetic signal, they act like a magnet. They draw that potential back to us. So through our electromagnetic signal, we are selecting a reality, selecting a potential from the quantum field, and then bringing that into our life. So the law of assumption is all about assuming that a potential already exists. And in doing that, we are sending out the thought to the quantum field that what we want already exists. We're selecting that potential by assuming it's already true. And also by assuming that it's true, you should be cultivating the feelings of already having that desire. So by doing that, you're putting out the magnetic signal to the quantum field to draw that potential that you've selected back to you. And one important thing to note about this and about the law of assumption is that the law of assumption is very focused on already having what you want. So assuming that you already have it in the present moment. And when it comes to the quantum field, with the quantum field, there is no past or future. The quantum field is operating in the now. So by you assuming that you already have it and by putting out the signal that you already have it, the quantum field can respond to that and reflect that back to you, i.e. make it so that you already have it. When it comes to manifesting and working with the quantum field, the present moment is crucial. You really need to believe that whatever it is you desire already exists, because it does already exist on an energetic level in the quantum field. That potential already exists. It just hasn't collapsed into physical particles yet. It hasn't become manifest in your physical reality. But in order for it to materialize from the quantum field, you can do that through the law of assumption by assuming that it is already true and putting that signal out to the quantum field so that that can then materialize into your life. So that is my attempt at trying to explain how the law of assumption links to quantum physics. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to see a more in-depth look at some of the experiments which basically underpin the explanations I've been talking about in this video, I have another video which I will link here. This is in the context of the law of attraction, but ultimately it's all the same. It's all about how our beliefs, etc., bring our reality to us. So the science is the same. So if you want to understand this on a deeper level, then that video should definitely help you.